Hey guys, it's Ryan here, and today we have my Beelzemon deck profile. So the main playstyle of this deck, there's not a lot of combos. You mostly just want to mill most of your cards for their mill effects. Utilize Beelzemon's one digital effects when you have a certain amount of cards in the graveyard. So for the eggs, I run 4 copies of the star deck Yamon. When he attacks, it helps us mill 2 cards. It has a wizard or demon trait. For level 3s, I run 4 copies of the star deck Warp Impmon. This comes in clutch a lot late game when I have 20 more, and I can go into a Beelzemon for cheap. 3 copies of the BT19 Impmon. It allows us to cheat out a Tamer, and the Inherit is very unique as it gives us retaliation. And there's a combo that we can do with Wizardmon X Antibody and Beelzemon that I'll show later on. Next, I play 1 copy of the EX2 Impmon. If it gets trashed, we can trash more cards, and on play it helps us search. And finally, for the level 3s, I just run 3 copies of the X Antibody to help us draw more when we Digivolve on top, and it allows us to trash option cards from our hand. So for level 4s, I run 4 copies of Star Deck Wizardmon. When this card's trashed, we gain a memory. Its inherited is actually very important as it helps us setting up what we want to mill from our hand. When we attack, we can reveal 1 purple card from our hand and put it on top of our deck. 4 copies of the Wizardmon X Antibody. It doesn't do too much, it just inherited helps us mill, and then when Digivolve gives us blocker if it has X Antibody in its inherited or Wizardmon. Then for level 5, 4 copies of Star Deck Beelzemon. This card's very important as every Beelzemon in the deck helps us trash the top 3, but what's important is it gains an on deletion effect where if I have 10 or more, we summon a Beelzemon from our graveyard, and the inherited gives us DP boost. It's really important in the deck as Beelzemon has a pretty low DP compared to other level 6s. I run 1 copy of the BT10 Beelzemon, basically the same thing, but instead of on Digivolve for the trash, it's when it attacks. 1 copy of Beelzemon X Antibody to help us recycle the X Antibody option card from our hand. Time for the main part, the level 6s. I run 2 copies of the Star Deck Beelzemon. When it comes into the field from Digivolving, it helps us trash top 4, and it helps us gain memory, which is pretty nice, and +1 security. I would run more, but because of the DP being lower, I'd rather run more of the defensive options. I will run 2 of the Beelzemon from EX6. This one's really good because it comes in with Rush, Swing, right when we summon from Beelzemon. It has Trash top 4 and Digivolve 2. It has a second effect, but it's more for the Demon Lord deck, not really for the Beelzemon deck. Run 1 copy of the EX2 Beelzemon. Kind of just helps us trash and delete opponent Digimons. When this card is trashed, we could play 1 Impmon from our trash while playing its cost. And then finally, for the most important one, we have Beelzemon X Antibody. It helps us one-shot the opponent by removing top security stack for every 10 cards in the trash. And on deletion, we can play an Impmon in its name from my trash without paying its cost. Allows us to summon the Warper to set up for next turn if they do delete our level 6. And then finally, for level 7s, I just run 1 copy of the Ace, BT20. Pretty good. Helps us delete a Digimon, depending on how much cards we have in our trash. When he attacks, we can return 10 non-egg cards from our trash to trash top card of our opponent's security. This is pretty nice because it helps us recycle all like the Wizardmons, Beelzemons, and all the option cards we burn through to gain a memory, which I'll show later on. The more you get to play the deck, the more you'll know what to return. And then I run 1 copy of Beelzemon Blast Mode from the star deck. It's not too important to run more than 1, but it does come in clutch as when it gets trashed, we can delete one of our opponent's Digimon, depending on how much cards we have in our graveyard. And when he Digivolves, this helps us end games as we can take out our opponent's securities really fast, but we still have to attack them for the end of the game. So when he Digivolves, this Digimon unsuspends, and we gain 3 memory if we have 20 or more. So if let's say we have 4 memory, we use 4 to Digivolve, we gain 3, so it's back to our turn. Allows us to end game. It comes in really nice. And yeah, that's it for the Digimons. Next, I'll go through the option cards. I run 3 of what I think is the best option card in our deck, which is Depth Slinger. Its main helps us delete an opponent's Digimon that's level 4 or lower, and its level increases for every 10 in our trash. What I mainly use this card for is when this card is trash, we gain a memory, as it allows us to make expensive plays and either mana chuck our opponent or bring the turn back to us, which is pretty doable because of Beelzemon Blastman Ace allows us to recycle our option cards. And with Wizardmon's inherited, if this is in our hand, we can kind of cheat what we want to mill by placing it on top of our deck. 2 copies of Rival's Barrage. This card allows us to recycle purple cards from our trash, and I can just delete the highest level of our opponent's Digimons. I just run 2 of because there's other cards that I want to run. I run 1 copy of Bond of True Love. When it gets trashed, it allows us to play a Impmon from our trash without paying its cost. Allows us to recycle level 3s, set up for for next turn, like the warping, or set up the Tamers if we have one or less. And its main, it just helps us trash the top 2 of our deck. I run 1 copy of Calling from the Darkness. This card is really nice because it helps us delete our Digimon. So let's say we have a Beelzemon with 10 trash in our graveyard. It allows us to cheat up a Beelzemon, and it helps us return 2 purple Digimons from our trash to our hand. It allows us to recycle a bunch of useful cards like Beelzemon, the Beelzemon, the Wizardmons. I run 3 copy of Wisdom Training as it helps us cheat out like level 5 evolutions, and also allows us to search our deck for purple cards. Just a staple for every purple deck. And then finally, I will run 1 copy of the X Antibody option card just to help us combo off with Beelzemon and Beelzemon X Antibody, which I'll show later on. And then finally, we have Tamers. Tamers is pretty simple. I just run 4 copies of the Star Deck Ayamako. Helps us search combo components when it digivolves into a purple Digimon. By suspending this Tamer, I can place 1 card from my hand to the top of my deck and gain a memory. This is really nice because it allows me to stack what I want to mill, especially if I have multiple on the field. Like let's say I have 2 Ayamakos on field and I have 2 Deathslingers or 2 Wizardmons or anything that gives me value when it gets trashed. When digivolving, I can just draw a card from digivolve, then suspend my Tamers and like put like a like a Deathslinger or a Wizardmon on top of my deck. Get 2 more mana on top of the 2 mana I get if I tap the Ayamako. Helps us steal the turn back. And then finally, I'll run 1 copy of the Ayamako from BT19. It's not as good as the Star Deck one, but it does have uses as a gain of memory at the start of each main phase if my opponent has a Digimon. And its main effect is it has 20 or more cards in trash. I can suspend this Tamer. Then one of my Itmons may digivolve into a Beelzemon for the cost of 4. So it's basically a warping effect. It's pretty good, but it's kind of hard to play more than 1 though because it requires us to have 20. But we have a lot of cards that can help us return an Itmon from our trash to the field, which is pretty nice. So it's more of like a late game card. Yeah, that's it for the deck. Time to move on to combos. Alright, time for the combo segment of the video. It's not a lot of combos. It's more of trying to rush out cards to help us trash customer deck to get value of. But there are some like cool tricks that we can do. For example, revolving the BT20 Itmon. The inherited gives us retaliation, so let's say we have this Itmon on the field. We could go into Wizardmon, can digivolve into X Antibody Wizardmon. It won't trash because we have the Wizardmon under its trait or in its inherited, so it doesn't trash, but this stack gains blocker for the turn. We can go enter either this Beelzemon or this Beelzemon, doesn't really matter. It'll help us trash. Like let's assume we have 10 cards in trash and Beelzemon. This stack is a blocker with retaliation with an on deletion effect that summons a Beelzemon when deleted till the end of the opponent's turn. So let's say your opponent swings, we can block with retaliation to kill both stack and then summon any Beelzemon from trash, which helps us snowball the game, which is pretty nice. Next we have combo, which we can use where we have 1 or more Tamers. For example, I'll show 2 Tamers. So let's say this is my hand. I have Wizardmon, Deathslinger, Beelzemon, or just any card that gets value from being trash, like Rival's Barrage. So let's say we digivolve. Oh my. And our hand is any Digimon that can digivolve. So for example, we have level 4 going to level 5. And any card that has value from being trashed, like a Wizardmon, Deathslinger, Rival's Barrage. There's more, but I'll use these 3 for the example. So let's say we digivolve into a Beelzemon. We'll draw a card. Right when we digivolve, we'll tap both of them to put 2 cards on top of our deck before the wind digivolve effect. So we gain 2 memory for that. We'll put Wizardmon or Deathslinger on top. Beelzemon's when digivolving effect will trigger, which mills top 3. So it'll be the 2 option cards or the 2 cards that we put on top of our deck, which gains us a memory, and a random card. So from that play alone, we just got 4 mana. The last combo I'll show, which helps us do a lot of damage to our opponent, is let's say we have a Beelzemon on field, the Star Deck one. We plug up the X Antibody option card under it. Its effect will activate when we digivolve, which trash top 4, gain memory for every 10 carded trash. And when a card is trashed this turn, it gains a security check. So the Beelzemon will swing for 2 security check. We can activate the X Antibody option card to allow us to digivolve into an X Antibody Digimon. And let's say it's the late game, we have a lot of cards in trash. We'll go into X Antibody Beelzemon. It'll help us trash the top security of our opponent's decks.
What the hell?
Oh my.
Someone was filming. Danny.
Look. I'm not gonna let you. I was just recording a video. And it's disturbed my filming. So I'm just gonna leave it out. Fuck bro, where am I at now? Oh my days. Oh my days. We'll swing, the X antibody will activate, allowing us to digivolve into an X antibody Digimon. We'll go into Beelzemon X antibody. When he comes down, he'll trash the top security of my opponent's security for every 10 in trash. So let's say we have 30 in trash and you have 3 securities. We'll trash the 3 security first, and then the Beelzemon will swing, go through, helping us end the game. Another cool thing we can do with the old Beelzemon blast mode is, let's say we swung with that initial combo and it's not enough to finish our opponent. If we have the star deck one, which has us unsuspend, we can just digivolve on top of it. Gain memory if you have 20 or more. So in the late game, we should have 20 or more. So it only costs 1 memory to digivolve into Beelzemon blast mode, allowing us to unsuspend and attack for game. And some things we can do with the other Beelzemons is, let's say we have Balmon on field, we get to swing with him, but he gets destroyed from like a security check or something. We can summon out the Beelzemon from our trash with the digivolve from Rush, allowing us to swing on the turn off, which is really nice. And yeah, that's really about it. Most of our cards will help us recur either warping Itmon to warp into our Beelzemons. We're just kind of just getting cards in trash to allow us to activate the Balmon's effects to summon up Beelzemons. The other cards are just there to help us recycle like auction cards or purple cards from trash to hand. It's a pretty simple deck, but there's a lot of knowing when to put cards on top of your deck, mill, and stuff like that. A lot of RNG too, but it's a fun deck and I do recommend it. And yeah, that's about it. Make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. I'm gonna pop Wisdom Training, reduce the next Digivolve by 2. Okay. So for free, Digivolve into Wizardmon. For free, Digivolve into X antibody. Just gains blocker to end everyone's turn. For 3 to Balmon. Okay. On when Digivolving, trash top 3. When this Imon is trashed, trash up to 3. I'll trash all 3. Gain a memory. Okay. Gain a memory, so it's my turn again. That's crazy. Yeah, I'll play man. Digivolve for 4. Okay. Into Beelzemon. Alright. When Digivolving, top 4 my decks. When Dusting is trash, gain a memory. And then when a card is trash, I gain a memory for every 10 in my trash. 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna, yeah, I'll move them up. Okay. First things first, I'm gonna pop this. Okay. To return a purple Digimon or Tamer from my trash my hand. Okay. I'm gonna return Beelzemon X antibody to my hand. Okay. I'm gonna swing with Wizardmon X antibody. Okay. And turn out first. When attacking, I can reveal a card, put it on top of my deck. This one has Wizard or Demon Lord, trash top 2. Death Slinger, and X antibody. So I'm gonna gain memory from Death Slinger. Yeah. 1 check. Nothing. Alright, 1 into Beelzemon X antibody. Okay. When Digivolving, if this one has Beelzemon in its name, like bottom, trash top security for every 10. 2. Nothing. There, I'll swing for 1 security. Go inside. Move them up. 3. Use in fact, spend to Digivolve into a purple Digimon. Place 1 card on top, and gain memory. Place this card on top. Back here. Gain memory. Okay. When Digivolve, trash top 3. Gain memory.
Oh no, Beelzemon.
Yeah, bro. Put Wizardmon on top, bro. Oh my god, play. And this gets on deletion.
It evolves into Beelzemon, right, or something?
Something. I'm going to go to X antibody. When Digivolving, trash top 3. But if it has Balmon or X antibody in its deletion card, delete level 4 lower instead. Alright, bro. Get out of here, bro.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Okay.
I was gonna combo them.
Alright, swing. One attack, reveal Wizardmon on top, then I trash top 2. Can you remember? When I trash 2 goes through low.
Oh my.
Alright, bro.
I'm gonna swing 9k.
Oh, piercing? Alright, I'm gonna do it. Go on to the hero.
Go ahead.
Get ready, bro. What you over your guy, bro? I'll trash topper, comes to the value here.
If you gain a memory.
Delete level 3 lower. But it increases by 1 level for every 10.